This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
All right, as you can see, Kenny and I practicing good social distancing that's about 7 feet. Doesn't look like that on TV, but it's about 7 feet. And we hope you're staying safe like pretty much everybody else, the ag community in general, dealing with the effects of COVID-19.
Yeah, that is for sure. Now coming up, how much of an impact has the virus had on dairy? Sure, milk sales have increased, but you're going to want to hear what one expert thinks why more challenges are on the way.
Speaking of challenges, the all-important H2A program hitting a brief snag as a result of the virus. We'll tell you what you should be doing now if you haven't done so already. However, on a positive note, this world pandemic has also brought a new awareness and appreciation to local farm markets, the important role they're playing, and why some folks have turned to them instead of the traditional supermarkets. These stories and so much more starting right now on the Farm Monitor.
What was projected to be a bounce-back year for the dairy industry has quickly turned into times of uncertainty due to the coronavirus outbreak. Damon Jones reports on how the pandemic is affecting demand for dairy products and why it has producers so concerned about the future.
This has become a familiar scene in grocery stores throughout the country as milk continues to be a common staple for households in times of crisis. And with COVID-19 forcing hundreds of millions of Americans to stay at home, demand for milk has been on the rise due to its versatility and health benefits.
Well, immediately we saw an increase in fluid milk sales. Milk's flying off the shelves right now, so that's been great to see. Milk moving, dairy products moving. So it is nice to see that in times of uncertainty and stress that consumers are falling back on what they know that is good nutrition, and that's milk and dairy products.
So it's good news that dairymen are still hard at work during these tough times in order to keep the shelf stocked with fresh products.
I mean, the cows have got to be milked 3 times a day and have got to continue on. But I mean, it's certainly important to keep enough food and fiber in the grocery stores and keep the consumers happy. I hope we get back to moving this economy and people get back out and spending money and get back to normal.
Despite the temporary spike in milk sales domestically, the National Milk Producers Federation is forecasting a nearly $3 billion loss over the past 5 weeks due to a slowing world economy. It's a problem that could continue to grow with so much uncertainty around the issue.
There's a lot of uncertainty in our markets. We were looking at a very positive year for 2020 back in January, and then all of a sudden we had the coronavirus impact and also an increase in milk production. So right now we're looking at a very challenging year for our dairy farmers.
And it's not just the reduction in exports that has the industry concerned, as schools and business shutdowns across the country have also had a major impact.
So school milk is very important for our industry. It actually accounts for 7% of our national consumption. So that has heavily impacted our markets. We appreciate those counties and school officials that are working to get meals out to those that are in need at this time. So that's helping a little bit. We've also lost our retail industry. They use a lot of butter, a lot of cheese. So we are encouraging consumers to cook at home, use those products, and buy extra milk and prepare to stay at home and fix meals for your family.
With the prospect of smaller dairies forced to shut their doors because of this unexpected outbreak, many are hoping for some assistance from the USDA.
Yeah, so unfortunately with a positive forecast at the beginning of the year, there are many farms across the U.S. that did not sign up for the Dairy Margin Coverage Program. So we are hoping that USDA will reopen up that sign-up period so that they can take advantage of that program, which will help with the remaining of the year to prepare for the loss in our farm prices.
I think it's just kind of wait and see. At least that's my attitude. We took advantage of the DRP insurance, so I've got my milk locked in or insured through June. So I'm hoping past June we see an increase in the markets, hopefully.
Reporting from Edenton, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
In other news and notes, Georgia Ag Commissioner Gary Black front and center in the fight against COVID-19. He, of course, is a part of that 66-member task force who's been looking into the effects the virus has had on Georgia's economy. amongst other things. Commissioner Black telling me that for him personally, it's a huge deal being a part of the discussions, especially when you take into consideration that agriculture is the state's #1 industry.
I want to always make sure that as we communicate to 11 million Georgians, that having a strategic viewpoint about the future of agriculture, understanding its role in national security, understanding our responsibility to employ Georgians and maintain stability in our economy. It's a pretty easy. It's a big job, but it's certainly something that a pretty easy decision to make to participate.
No doubt Commissioner Black sweating a bit when it came to COVID-19 and its impact on the country's H-2A program. Shortly after the outbreak, the State Department put a brief hold on new H-2A visas, and that's something that could have really hurt Georgia, who's the nation's largest user of the program. That decision, though, has since been reversed, and now applications are once again being accepted with some additional modifications. Nonetheless, should you have any questions or concerns or run into any problems, Georgia Farm Bureau is here to help.
We'll need more work in this area, and we need to just hear back from producers as they run into these issues. Contact us so we can get started working with our congressional delegation and USDA to see if we can help in those particular situations. But I would encourage all users of H-2A to go ahead and get a head start on their process. If they need to update their contracts, sometimes that is time consuming. So just go ahead and get an early start earlier than you normally would.
In the past few weeks, there hasn't been anyone or anything unaffected by the COVID-19 pandemic, including beef, which has been hard to find on store shelves. John Holcomb with more on the virus's impact on the beef industry.
It's as if it happened overnight. Businesses closed, schools shut down, and grocery stores ravaged as people stock up on food to last them through the quarantine. One product that has been in high demand is beef, as stores have had a hard time keeping it on the shelves. But even with that high demand, beef prices, like a lot of other commodities, have dipped down due to the impact of global markets practically free-falling over the course of a few weeks, and has really put producers all over the country in a bit of a financial pickle as cattle are ready to go to the market, but prices are so low, producers are having to hold off on selling right now.
When you look at the fall calving operations that are calving in the fall and got calves at maturity now, you know, we get paid once a year when we sell those calves, and right now is when they need to be selling them here in the next few weeks. And so you're looking into a market that's not very optimistic right now as to making your salary or your income for the complete year on a one-shot deal.
It may not seem like a big deal, but when over a year and a half is spent getting cattle ready to sell and suddenly they can't, it can really hurt a cattle operation.
There's a lot of producers right now that have spent 16, 18 months producing a replacement female, having her bred in top shape, ready to go and ready to sell to somebody else's farm. And a lot of those farms were counting on sales, you know, private sales to carry them through the year. And a lot of those sales have been postponed now just for this lack of not being able to get people together in groups. And so when you look at the time and investment spent over 16, 18 months to get that animal where it's at now, and they're ready to sell them, the cows are bred, ready to go to work for the new owners, but they can't get them sold right now. That, you know, for some producers that will be detrimental to their operations, and some of them it'll take them 2 or 3 years to get over that loss, or even just that delay of income, knowing where they're going to sell them, or some of them will be forced to sell them now in a not so promising market, and you know will have to take a significant loss on the amount of money that animal can generate for their farm.
Will and his wife Charlie are producers in that same boat, and sadly are expecting this to not just affect them now, but will affect them in the long term as well.
It will set us back, you know, just even that cash flow will set us back a year. Things that we have been planning for, you know, genetics that we chose for to be ready right now, you know, those calves aren't really going to be sold at the optimal time for us.
Right now, it's unclear just how much the COVID-19 pandemic will impact the beef industry. But fortunately, cattle producers affected by the coronavirus are set for some assistance through the relief package signed by President Trump on March 27th. But until then, farmers and producers are going to keep doing what they always do and wait it out for better days.
We carry on every day like there's
still going to be tomorrow. We can't stop and hope that things will change. We have to keep taking care of the animal, taking care of the land, so that we have a product when times are ready for it.
Reporting in Concord for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
All right, John, thanks so much. Now, after the break, how consumers are looking beyond the typical grocery stores during this time of uncertainty and the caring people serving those shoppers.
Well, now the rain nor some nasty old virus is going to stop Georgia school children from being fed during this unprecedented time of remote learning. Yeah, this is the scene pretty much daily throughout Georgia. Teachers, cafeteria workers, volunteers, you name it, they are out there every day making sure kids don't go hungry. And that is something near and dear to the heart of Henry County School Board member Holly Carter-Cobb. You see, Holly grew up on a farm, and she knows firsthand the benefits and positive effects that meals like these can have on a child's ability to learn.
With our breakfast and lunches, they're getting fresh fruit, fresh salad, very nutritious things. And the kids seem very excited to receive those things. We're just honored to first be a part of this community, and then also to be able to give back to our families and students during this time of crisis. And it's just really important to us that we just ensure that our families and students are taken care of during this difficult time.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that is just a small sample of how the entire state of Georgia is coming together during this corona pandemic. Have you been to your local farm market lately? With many of the large stores running low on things like meat, chicken, and fresh produce, Americans are now waking up to the fact that, wow, farmers really are important. They really are the lifeline of our food supply. Well, recently I visited a few GFB certified farm markets to get an idea of what people are buying, how much they're buying, and the reaction to store owners who, let's face it, are risking their own health in order to serve others.
We have a small customer base, but a very loyal customer base. It's growing, and they've supported us, and so when they need food, we want to be there for them. They ask, first of all, do you have enough? Have you got enough? And when we assure them that we do, they've said, well, I just need 2 pounds of ground beef. I can come back next week, or I can come out to your store. So they have really tried to look out for their neighbor as well.
During these times of uncertainty, we have felt it our responsibility to stay and continue to provide these products to our customers, as well as fill in the gap for those who may not be able to find it anywhere else.
We've been getting lots of calls of people asking and wanting local produce. I think they maybe have a little bit more trust and know that, hey, I personally care. It's my family serving your family, so it's not just maybe a stranger in a big store. So we're taking every precaution that we can and making sure people are getting safe food.
In every struggle in the history of this country, it's been those industries of the land, those people from the land that step up, provide leadership for the country and for the state. And I think you're right. We're seeing this take place all across our Georgians, and something we can be very proud of.
Many of our customers are older and they don't want to go to the grocery store. They're afraid of who they'll see, what's happening at the grocery store, and they feel like this is a much better option, a safer option for them.
They just keep on keeping on. No matter what, they've gone through worse, and it's a matter of living on faith. That your crop is going to come up, that the animals are going to be all right, and knowing that you've got a commitment to them that's bigger than yourself.
Amazing people, aren't they? Up next is a special on-location edition of Meals from the Field. See for yourself how Ray and Marcia celebrated National Peanut Month. Unfortunately, one of the many things overshadowed by the coronavirus pandemic is the fact that March was National Peanut Month. And to celebrate the occasion, the Georgia Peanut Commission launched their brand new children's book, A Home Run for Peanuts, which is about a young boy growing up on a Georgia peanut farm. The book's purpose, to educate people about the peanut industry and to show that farm families are no different than any other family.
The Georgia Peanut Commission Board decided that we really needed a new children's book in the industry. We decided that, the farm family story needed to be told, and if we're not the ones telling it, unfortunately, it could end up being not very factual. So the main character and narrator is actually a kid named Jake, and the story begins and actually continues just on their family farm in Georgia. And it takes you through the seasons as what's happening in the spring, what's happening in summer, fall, and then winter, and it's taking you on the journey of that peanut production process and showing from planting all the way to harvesting. And as he's on the farm working, he's also in different scenes. He's going to school and he's studying, but a major theme throughout the book is also baseball. He's on the field playing with other children, and he's using a lot of lessons learned on the farm on the ball field. So his mom is sending him to practice and to school with these protein-rich peanut snacks that are fueling his activities through the day. One of our goals through this book is to show, of course, the process of what goes into peanut farming and how peanut farm families are normal families that you're seeing at the grocery store, sitting beside in school, and even on the ball field. They're regular families. We also want to convey the message that peanuts are a superfood and can fuel activities on the ball field, or if you're studying for a test at school, that peanut snacks are so healthy and so good for you, they can power you through your day. If they're interested in a copy of the book, it's actually listed on Amazon. You can just search for A Home Run for Peanuts by Amanda Radke. You can call our office, or you can find it on our website at gapeanuts.com.
Speaking of baseball, it too fell victim to the coronavirus. Spring training, of course, was cut short. Opening day postponed as well. However, that all happened after Ray DeLesio finagled his way past the gates for what he dubbed Meals from Truist Park.
Welcome back, everybody, to Meals from the Field. Joining me, as always, is my good friend and partner in crime, Marshall Crowley. Yes, we are on location this month at Truist Field, home of the Atlanta Braves, just outside of downtown Atlanta. What better way to celebrate National Peanut Month than out here at Truist Park? We've got some great recipes. We just saw the piece there on the book that has been put out by the Georgia Peanut Commission. And what we wanted to do was actually demonstrate the recipes that were mentioned in that book, and you can hear a lot of the construction going on. So we do apologize for any kind of noise out here, but like we said, that's what happens when we're on location, right, Marsha?
People pay good money for background noise.
That's right, and they pay good money. So what do we have today? Again, we just saw the story on the new book that's out by the Georgia Peanut Commission. We're doing some recipes. You made these yourself, and you like them a lot.
I did. I like them a lot.
Okay.
The first one we're going to do is a strawberry broccoli peanut salad, and honestly, when I read this recipe, I said that there's no way that can be good, that combination. It is delicious.
And I even brought the GoPro
it's
that I can get up top shots.
Yeah.
Look at this thing. Okay, so go ahead.
All right, so this is a cup and a half of chopped broccoli, and I like to kind of blanch the broccoli a little bit, and that means you put the broccoli in boiling water and immediately take it out.
Okay.
It gives it that nice green color. Let's see where I can put this. Cup and a half of sliced strawberries, and of course all of this stuff is from Georgia as well.
Right.
A cup of honey roasted peanuts. You could put more in there, it's not going to ruin it, or less, whatever your preference is. And then the dressing is 3 tablespoons of plain Greek yogurt
Okay.
and 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar.
All right.
And you could add a little honey to that if you wanted to, which I did with that. You just stir this up like so. And you pour it over the salad and serve immediately. And I'm telling you, it's really, really good.
Nice.
It's really good.
That's one recipe.
Okay, the next one, this is one you're gonna love.
Is this the peanut butter pie?
This is the peanut butter pie.
Marcia actually called me on the phone, or you texted me, I believe, and you said, wait till you try the peanut butter pie.
It's
it is
so good.
It is to die for.
And it's so easy. All right, for obvious reasons,
So
we
what-
don't have a...
What you're trying to say, it's a home run?
It's a home.
See what I did
pretty
there?
good,
Yeah, okay.
pretty good. For obvious reasons, I've already mixed this up. It's milk, 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, and powdered sugar. And you would use a mixer for that part of it, and we don't have electricity right yet, so we're gonna add to that a cup of crunchy peanut butter.
Okay.
And by law, all peanut butter has to have at least 90% peanuts. So that's a good healthy fact. We've got a cup of extra crispy peanut butter, extra crunchy, sorry, and an 8-ounce tub of whipped topping.
Nice.
I mean, what could be wrong with that? Nothing. Just mix that, fold all that in.
Mix that up.
Fold all that in, and with the essence of time, I'm not going to do all of that because it takes just a few minutes. You just make sure it's incorporated very well. Then you're going to pour that into a prepared either graham cracker pie crust, and this is a chocolate cookie pie crust, which to me, peanut butter and chocolate just go together.
You can't go wrong with that. No, you can't go
Go
wrong
together.
with
All right, and the last thing, if this isn't too far, this is a protein peanut butter game day bar.
that. Okay.
And this, I've already melted this. You've got to melt this either on top of the stove or in a microwave. It's a stick of butter, peanut butter, honey, 3/4 of a cup of honey, which is a lot.
Okay.
And you're going to add to that, oh, it's got brown sugar as well. Let me put that book down just a minute. 3 cups of quick oats. A 1/2 cup of chopped peanuts.
All right.
And here again, I would use lightly salted. I don't know that I'd do the honey roasted in this because there's already a lot of honey in it. And a cup of dried cranberries. And you just stir all that together, mix all that together. And the recipe and the cookbook calls to form this into balls.
And the balls, okay.
And I had a hard time with that because this is so sticky.
Sticky and stuff?
Sticky, so I just spread it in a cookie sheet pan lined with parchment paper.
Okay.
And you let it sit at room temperature till it's completely cool, and I cut it into little squares.
Okay.
That seemed to work better for me. I didn't have any luck with making them into balls.
All right.
And
then
that's
just mix all that stuff
just
up.
mix all that up.
And it's real simple too.
And
isn't
this would be a very healthy snack for kids.
it? Okay.
Very portable if you wanted to take it to a Braves game.
Right. Well, and I will pull up the old trusty GoPro, and I'll get some shots of all this stuff there. There you go. Get some here, get some of that pie.
That pie,
Look
you're
at
gonna
the
love the pie.
Salad and stuff like that. And like we said, Marcia, all these recipes, pretty simple. You can also find them on the Georgia Peanut Commission's website.
Yep.
Go on there. Again, one of the recipes mentioned in the book. And we cannot thank the Atlanta Braves enough for letting us come out here and letting us film this place. Absolutely beautiful ballpark. If you get a chance to go to a game this year, thank you so much to the Georgia Peanut Commission for the book and for all this delicious food. And we're about to indulge while we pretend to watch some baseball. So good seeing you again, Marcia. And of course, we will see you again next month.
Ray and Marcia, great job as always. And unfortunately, that wraps up the show. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you next week right here on the Farm Monitor.